and water features. So the hope is to get something like 73 megalitres a year of water from the system as it's currently being developed. Nice little schematic of the treatment plant under design within the plant room. The plant room will be in the main tank, and it'll be visible to the community through this viewing window, which you'll be able to walk down to, look into, and learn all about it. So in 6 months' time, that'll be a great place to take the tourists and the kids. So they had lots of challenges, not least of which was the fact that the pipe, at the point at which we're intercepting it, is in fact tidal. The invert of the pipe is somewhere near low tide, and the top of the pipe is somewhere near high tide. So one of the big challenges there was to come up with a weir arrangement which allowed us to exclude the tide most of the time, but also not cause upstream flooding. So amongst many, it's a very simple diversion structure design, but not an insignificant challenge. If you look at NearMap, it's a great little tool. You can see our tank under construction. This is a September photo, so we're advanced beyond that. We've got the ABC Centre across the road there, and our diversion structure under construction is just tucked down there next to the restaurants. And there are some photos. Now, the other two projects, which I'll mention in a great rush, are at Fitzgibbon. Now, we seem to have this, I think it was Ted who referred to the Bligh Project Zoo. We've got the shark, we've got the fish, and we've got the potteroo, and we're working on some more, but we haven't. Pretty yeah. So the fish is the Fitzgibbon Stormwater Harvesting System. Now, Fitzgibbon is a ULDA development up near Castledine in northern suburbs of Brisbane, and again there's another NearMap image showing the subdivisional works underway there. And the idea with the fish is that we'll be harvesting, and I'll use this figure because it's reasonably clear, harvesting stormwater from a 290 hectare catchment upstream of the north-south railway line, pumping it from there into a storage pond underneath the power easement here, treating it, and then distributing it back through a purple pipe system to the community of Fitzgibbon. Simple enough, but that's the fish, and that's for non-potable purposes, and we hope to get about 89 megalitres per year of water out of that system. Now, the other one I'll just mention is the potteroo, and this is the potable roof water project. Now, this one is looking to harvest water from the roofs within the development and collect it through a separate collection system to a storage tank and treatment plant, and then treat that water to drinking water quality, and then inject that back into the drinking water supply. Now, what's interesting about this project, well, there's two things. One is that coupled with the fish, it means that we're targeting both non-potable and potable components of demand, which really gives us something like the potential to supply about 76% of demand within the development. And the other interesting thing is that it's being funded partly by the federal government and partly by the Japanese government. So the chief proponent of the scheme is a Japanese company who are interested in developing water business opportunities outside Japan. And I guess it's all part of their ageing population and trying to bolster their economy. So it's about 44 megalitres a year. So did I say 56% is the total offset for the two schemes that we're looking for. And that's just a little schematic for the scheme. So one of the problems with all these things is you've got to have a lot of infrastructure in the ground to make them work. And what we're illustrating here is that we've got not only do we have our stormwater drainage system and our water supply system and our purple pipe system, but we also have to have our roof water collection system to distributed tanks pumping to a central tank in our treatment plant. Now, I'll finish. I apologise for having gone on a little bit, but I should acknowledge some of the players in all of this stuff. and I've just remembered who I haven't acknowledged, Ted, so I'll apologise to you at the end of this little slide. But ULDA is important as the proponent for the Fitzgibbon scheme, and if they weren't interested in supporting this, that wouldn't be happening. South Bank Corporation, obviously, because of the South Bank scheme. The Queensland Water Commission has been important in pushing these ideas along and trying to get demonstration projects happening. Healthy Waterways have been active in trying to develop design guidelines and to promote a whole range of issues to do with stormwater, including stormwater harvesting. The other agencies that we've dealt with, like Queensland Urban Utilities, Queensland Health, Environment and Resource Management, their interests all vary, but generally speaking, everybody's enthusiastic to encourage stormwater harvesting and in any sort of alternative system, an innovative system. And then I should also acknowledge Chris Tanner, who I work with, and Sean Linster at Design Flow, who've done a lot of that work on stormwater harvesting investigations. And I should also mention, just in finishing, that the Urban Water Security Research Alliance, which is the organisation that Ted Gardner works for, is also active in taking advantage of these projects to increase the learnings and learning potential from these schemes. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for David?
In the Potteroo example, I guess I just drink the water that comes off our roof. How much do you have to treat it?
So you should be having a long conversation with Ted here, because the problem with drinking the water off the roof is that, I guess, twofold. One is that no authority is going to recommend that you do that. And I think the reason that they won't recommend that you do that is because when there have been studies done, and I think Ted knows more about the detail of this, but when there have been studies done to assess the water quality of roof runoff, it's not pristine. And there are a range of contaminants, you know, from pathogens to metals to organics. Do you want to add anything to that at all, Ted?
Well, I think the key issue is that you take the risk, which is fine, but it's not reasonable for you to impose that risk on your neighbour, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, keep on rambling on about all the risks.